Hello, my name is Markea Aga, and I am one of the reading interventionists at a fairly new school called Merit Academy in Woodland Park, Colorado. And I'm actually fairly new to reading intervention. However, it has become such a big passion of mine, and I love it so much. So my journey with the science of reading started out last year. It was the last quarter of the 21-22 school year, and the reading interventionist that was in that position could no longer fill that job, and they needed a long-term sub. The cool thing is that I was going to college. I had just taken my reading praxis and passed it. I had just taken reading classes in college, so I felt like I was fairly prepared for this, unexpected, but ready to take it on. So I did, and it's proven to be really cool. Last year, the reading interventionist was using a program called Lexia. It was cool to watch, and I actually did learn some things to how to teach the kids better and got some really cool lessons. However, I'm not a computer-based teacher, and so that bothered me a little bit, and I really wanted to try out my skills that I gained in college and see what difference I could make for these kids. So I was really excited when the school wanted to continue using me as a reading interventionist while I continued my education and see where this could go. So, not wanting to teach on a computer, I was really excited to use the science of reading knowledge that I gained and see what I could do. So, we didn't start out this school year with a reading intervention curriculum just because we are newer. We were trying to figure out going from Lexia to what was going to look best this year, not computer-based. So just really trying to find out what was going to work. So during this time, I was able to take what I knew about Scarborough's reading rope and the simple view of reading and kind of hone in on those skills and decide, okay, where are they at? What are they missing? And where do they need to be? So a lot of learning was done based on the science of reading and building background knowledge for these kids. Some of my students struggled with the core knowledge history or the core knowledge science curriculums and needed help in those areas. So I was able to collaborate with their teachers, get the books that they were working on, the chapters, all that information, and we were able to go through the chapter, read it, pre-read it, build some background knowledge, go over the vocabulary, answer any comprehension questions that they might have in the books or that we could come up with on our own, have the students ask each other questions to really gain that understanding of what's happening in that chapter. Then the student would be able to bring their book and the knowledge that we built to class so that they could keep up with their peers and really understand what was going on and not be so confused, which was really cool to see the fact that all that building of background and practicing the reading and how it really increased their understanding in those subjects. Something that I have done was really observe their skills constantly. I love data. I collect data just on these kids to see, what am I doing? Am I making a difference? If not, what do I need to change? Because it's not the students that need to change their learning habits. It's me that needs to learn how to change what I'm teaching so that the students can grasp what I'm trying to help them learn. And I've really been able to hone in on those skills while teaching the kids all that good stuff. So when I notice that something appears to be missing, whether it be syllabication or simple rhyming, I'm able to go back, talk to the teacher, say, okay, I would like to meet with the student for 15 minutes a day for the next couple weeks, see if we can really get down on open syllables, closed syllables, how to determine which syllables we're using here, where to divide the syllables so we really understand how to say them. All these different things, we're really able to help. And then once we close those gaps, those students could get a little bit of a better understanding of where they needed to be, and they could move on with their peers, which has been really cool to watch over the year. Something I do, the changes that I've made, not only do I watch the data to see where I need to change or what skills those students are missing, but I have learned to tweak my daily lessons to help the students be better fluent readers. I have a daily fluency practice that the students do. They will read to me for 1 minute, get their fluency down, and they read the same passage for a week so that they can really build those words that they haven't used. I always use grade level passages. We use, the other interventionist and I, we have, we will talk about it. We have discussions about the books that they're reading, and it really has been able to increase their vocabulary, their receptive skills, their expressive skills, all these linguistic benefits that these kids get. It's been really cool. My greatest science of reading achievement is probably the fact that when I look at the reading rope or all these things, I can pick out skills that the students are missing. It might be segmentation or phoneme deletion, phonemic awareness, all these different things, really being able to understand what the student is missing, going back, closing that gap so that we can move on, has been really cool to watch. I think that's one of my favorite things so far, is finding those gaps, closing them, and watching them be able to move on from that. I've loved it so much. It gives me chills. Something that I really have loved watching over Dibbles over the course of the year, because again, I'm a data person, I love watching those numbers grow. Their words per minute and their retell. And honestly, my favorite part, not only watching the numbers grow, but when I can show the kids their data and the pride and the accomplishment that the look that they have on their face it's everything. It's everything. It's probably my greatest achievement, is watching those little light bulbs go off. Amplify in my intervention work, again, it goes back to being able to help the kids build more background knowledge so that they could bring it back to their classrooms and their core classes with their peers, their gen ed peers, and understand what's happening in the book instead of being completely clueless, not paying attention because they don't understand. At that point, the kids can understand and they can pay attention and follow along with the discussion, with the book, and just be able to understand what's happening. That's been really neat. I love that we can help these kids gain skills to help break down the more complex texts into manageable information, manageable chunks of information, so that they can get it in the future, because the words are only going to get harder. So I want them to be able to understand how to make the complex texts a little bit more manageable. And then one story of success that would not have been possible without Amplify, I had a student that was able to see their really low scores and really just didn't want to put much effort into making any gains in the classroom either with their core knowledge curriculum. It was just too hard. So why even try, right? So I got creative, and this student struggled with some behaviors and just attention span in class. So I had to figure out a way to help this kid understand better, or understand that his scores are important. So I would show him his scores. This is what I started to do. I would show him his scores at the beginning before his tests, and I'd say, okay, do you think you can beat those? And I'd just kind of make it a friendly competition within himself, so that he could see his numbers and say, what can you do this time? So at the beginning of the year, he started out reading 40 words per minute. It's a 3rd grade student. And just a couple weeks ago, I progress monitored him, and he was at 87 words per minute. The look on that boy's face was everything. He was so proud of himself. No behaviors. For a while, he was, I mean, we're still doing great. He's incredible. And the pride that he showed, and his excitement and the confidence, he had the biggest smile from ear to ear. He walked back to class after that period we had together, and he just walked with so much confidence. He was just strutting his way down to the hall, and it was amazing. It was probably one of the best things that I've done this year. Just watching him be so proud of himself. And he's not the only one, but that was probably my most recent success story with the Amplify. And I love the core knowledge curriculum, and I love that I can help students build that background knowledge for a deeper understanding within their gen ed classrooms. I love watching the kids grow. It's been extremely rewarding, and I cannot wait to continue my career as the reading interventionist. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you very much, and thank you for considering me as a finalist in the Amplify Award. Have a wonderful day.